Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. Prince Harry is a man in crisis. In a recent article on FoxNews.com, it states that Prince Harry is friendless and unemployed in LA and misses having a structure. When I take a critical examination of this article, I see the starting of the pattern and profile I talked about in my book, The Man Crisis. And your Prince Harry clearly is a man in crisis, and this man has no idea how to do anything in his life, because it's clear to me that everything has been done for him, and because everything has been done for him, he does not know how to take the lead in his own life or build a life for himself. And because your Prince Harry has no male life skills and no male survival skills, he is now in California, and he is friendless, unemployed, and practically lost. And the reason why he is lost is because he is not in a place where he is prepared to take the lead in his own life. No, your Prince Harry is following the lead of a Meghan Markle, and because he is following the lead of Meghan Markle, he has no idea on how to create a life for himself. So he's sitting there talking about how his American life lacks structure, but the reason why his American life lacks structure is because he was not creating a plan to create his own life. No, your Prince Harry wanted to follow behind your Meghan Markle, a staunch feminist, and he believed her idea about leaving the royal family and going out here and go create a life for themselves. Now, your Meghan Markle, she had already created a semblance of a life for herself with her acting career, and she could go back and resume that. Unfortunately, your Prince Harry, he didn't know anything outside of the royal family, and this is why his life is lacking structure, and he wants to go back to things like the military, because he wants to be in a place where he has that structure and that order. But the big problem is you have a man who is used to other people doing things for him, and he's used to bowing and submitting to others, but he's not used to taking the lead for himself. Because when a man goes out here and wants to go out on his own, usually he lays out a plan for what he wants to do, and he starts to set goals for what he wants to do. But your Prince Harry did not set any goals for what he wanted to do in his life. No, this beta male was so busy used to submitting to other authority figures, and practically was submitting to your Meghan Markle, a female authority figure, that this is why he is lost. And he didn't have a plan for what type of job he wanted to take when he left the royal family. He didn't have a plan for what type of business he wanted to start when he left the royal family. He was just going out here on his own, following behind your Meghan Markle, and believing Meghan Markle's emotional statements about how they were going to be independent and go out here and get these jobs. But your Prince Harry really does not have the life skills to go out here and get a job, because in order to get a job, you have to know people, and it's clear to me that your Prince Harry really doesn't know anybody in the world of Hollywood. He has no business connections with people in Hollywood. All he has is his name, and that title that he used to have as a member of the royal family was stripped from him. So your Harry is out here basically a guy with nothing at all. And because he has nothing at all as related to friends, as related to family, as related to business connections, he has gone from being a prince to a man in crisis. And this type of situation, people, they're looking at it and taking it lightly, but I see a man who is on the road to being this man in crisis, because when a man is friendless, a man is unemployed, and a man lacks structure, this is where this man is in a situation where his life will go into decline, because this man who is isolated from people who can give him some perspective, this man who is isolated from people who can give him support, and this man who is isolated from people who can give him guidance, he's in a very vulnerable situation. And him being in Los Angeles, and Hollywood, a town filled with predators, this is a bad situation for your Prince Harry, who has no idea that his wife is one of these predators and has practically brought him to this town so she can practically devour this man alive. And this man does not see that he's in a very bad situation. Now, I can see where this Prince Harry is in a very bad situation, because I've read about so many beta males out here and how so many beta males out here get used by female predators like your Meghan Markle. Because women like your Meghan Markle, when they see a man out here like a Prince Harry, they want to find a way to isolate that man so that they can gain leverage over that man. And then once they gain leverage over that man, what happens is they use that leverage as a way to control that man. And we saw that in a recent article where they talked about Prince Harry going out here and selling his 50,000 pound rifle collection, all because Meghan Markle just didn't like that. And that shows me that your Prince Harry is a very weak man, and a man with no real sense of male identity and no sense of identity as a man. And because he has no sense of identity as a man, he doesn't know how to stand up for himself. He does not know how to stand up for what he wants, nor does he know how to stand up and demand what type of life that he wants, because he doesn't know how to be a man. And it's really sad to see this member of the royal family having no foundation to establish himself as a man or to establish his identity as a man. When I look at your Prince Harry, he's a very, very lost man. He's a very weak man. And he was going out here, as I see it, looking to chase behind your Meghan Markle. And no man goes to move to another city looking to chase behind a woman and see her get empowered and elevated. No, when he goes to another town, he's looking to build his own platform. He's looking to build his own business. And he has a plan for building something of his own. When you have a man who decides to make a move from like someplace from New York to Los Angeles, usually he has a job set up in that place. He has an apartment set up in that place. And he has a plan for building revenue before he even gets over there. Now, there are some guys who will move over to a place and they will look for a job. But most guys out here, they're going to sit up and they're going to come up with their plans before they even pack a bag or get on a plane to go across the country, because they know that you have to have a way to be able to take care of yourself in these places, and you have to have a support system there so that when you get out there, you're not just out there at the mercy of a predator. But your Prince Harry, because he could not identify a female predator like a Meghan Markle, he bought into her rhetoric where she was talking about how they can be independent, how they can have their own jobs, but he was not equipped with the male life skills to understand how to do these things, and that's why your Prince Harry is out here, and he's just completely lost, because he's never really had to go out here and build a life for himself. Everything was practically established for him. And you have Meghan out here. She's going out here, going back to being the D-list actress that she is, even though she thought she could use his title to elevate herself. But when you have the Prince and Meghan Markle living in Tyler Perry's mansion, it tells me that this whole plan to go out here and have careers is not really working. Meghan has just gone back to being Meghan Markle, the D-list actress, and Prince Harry is turning into a man in crisis, and he's practically becoming a Pookie because he's living in this house and he's not able to be the man in the relationship. He's not able to be the head of household. He's not able to be the leader in the relationship. And your Meghan Markle has an emotional hose attached to your Prince Harry, and she has all of the power in the relationship, and she's treating your Prince Harry like a pet dog and a child. He's not in a place where he can be a man. And again, that just really shows how the royal family has practically failed this young man, and because he does not know how to go out here and do for self. He does not know how to build for self. And these are life skills that he needed to get before he even got involved with Meghan Markle, because every man out here, before they make a big move, they don't run on emotion. They'll sit there and they'll plan this out, and they'll sit there and they'll make contacts and make connections because they understand they have to make long-term moves. Your Prince Harry, again, he was running on emotion because Meghan could not handle being a part of the royal family, and because he was a royal simp, he wanted to give Meghan Markle the life, and while she's living her best life, he's living no life at all. And that's not the way a healthy marriage works. In a healthy marriage, the man is seen as somebody who should be put first because he's the head of the household, he's the leader, he's the protector and the provider, and he's supposed to be out here being the leader. But when it comes down to this Prince Harry, he's the guy behind the woman, and because he's behind the woman, that's why he's a rudderless and lost man, and he's practically a man in crisis at this point because he's lost everything because he wanted to give this woman her best life, and she's living her best life at his expense, and he's not living at all. I mean, he's practically existing in Hollywood, and he's not going anywhere, and she's going out and living the same life she lived before, and that's not what any healthy marriage is. A healthy marriage, the man is allowed to have his life, the woman is allowed to be a part of that man's life, and that woman has chances to go out here and do things, but she's not going to go out here and try to elevate herself at the man's expense the way your Meghan Markle has elevated herself at his expense and looking to use his title as a springboard to get her career going and moving, meanwhile leaving him behind to be the woman in the relationship, a completely emasculated man who just doesn't understand his testicles are in her change purse, and she's got them in her purse going around talking to all of these people in the Hollywood scene, bragging about how she's married to a prince, but meanwhile, she's treating this man basically like a royal pet and making it like he was a complete court jester, because if you're a man, again, if you're a prince, you're supposed to be descended from a king, and a man descended from a king should be building and conquering, not cowering behind a woman. So I would like to recommend that your Prince Harry go out here and pick up my books, The Man Crisis and Stop Simpin', because when I take a critical examination of your Prince Harry, I see a man in crisis, and I see a man who really needs to get himself together. I also would like to recommend that your Prince Harry head over to Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy workshops in his area, or pick up Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy, because he really needs some help, and he really needs to find some way to get his testicles out of her change purse and learn how to be his own man and stop standing behind this predatory woman. If you want to learn more about men in crisis, you can pick up my book, like Prince Harry. You can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. You can also find it on Smashwords and the iBookstore. And if you want to learn how to avoid female predators like a Meghan Markle, you can pick up my book, Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com as well. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and coming to Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes' Dark Succubus. The man who rules the world is tempted by a sultry succubus in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes' Dark Succubus in paperback or pre-order on Kindle Unlimited today.